Hello everyone and welcome back to another hardcore video. We are 797 days into this world and I have still yet to get fully enchanted gear. My boots only have a protection 2. There's not a single efficiency 5 in sight. And this is the state of my shovel. So today we are going to be building a pumpkin and melon farm, which will allow me to get emeralds to trade for enchanted books from villagers. So if you're excited for that, then definitely be sure to like and subscribe, and let's go ahead and jump right in. I wanted to do a quick update on the iron farm because I've done a lot of work in between episodes and it's just been running this whole time, and look how much iron we have. Literally so much. Honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and take it all out right now. Look, there's an iron golem right there. When I tell you this thing is running all the time, I literally mean it's been running all the time. But now we can start crafting some iron blocks. Look how many iron blocks we have. This is crazy. I have never built an iron beacon, but I definitely think that we are going to be able to in this world. I've always done an emerald beacon, but iron beacon, here we come. I also did a lot of work on stream collecting all the materials that we're going to need for our pumpkin and melon farm, and also the build for the pumpkin and melon farm. Yes, I've been streaming again, so definitely feel free to check me out over on Twitch if you haven't already. You better check fast because who knows how long this streaming thing is gonna last. Maybe 2 months, maybe just 1 more week. I don't know, who can say? And one last quick update before we get started with today's project. I did build this little build here. Oh wait, do we have a wandering trader? We do. Hello, wandering trader. But I did build this build here for a long play that will be up next week. This build is actually so cool. I'm so proud of it. I think it looks so good and I love the pink. I figured that this could be a merchant's house because obviously we have villagers trading in the village. So maybe a traveling merchant lives here and they use pigs to drive their cart, kind of like Stardew Valley. Hence the pigs here on the side, and we still have a little baby. I just love how big their heads are. Like, look how big his head is. He's so cute. And I built a little cart here that they can use to travel to the village, obviously driven by pigs. But that is pretty much all of the updates I have for you. Let's go ahead and get started on with today's project. For the pumpkin and melon farm, I figured that we could build a cute farm outpost kind of thing along this pathway. Though, unfortunately, this pathway is pretty treacherous. There are mountains everywhere, and if we keep on going this way, then the pathway literally just goes through a valley. There's mountains on either side, and I feel like for farmland you definitely need something flat. It just doesn't make sense for me to plop down a farm like on top of the hill or something. So yes, it will be along this pathway. However, it's going to be a little bit out of the way, which I feel like fits the vibe just fine. We're going to have a cute farm kind of tucked away from the rest of civilization. Though now that I think about it, it's probably a terrible idea for a pumpkin and melon farm because it's not actually going to be running very often, but that's not my problem. Though I think a few AFK sessions there honestly might just do the trick. But if we go over this very tall hill kind of through this valley, then we will reach the most perfect piece of flat land for this pumpkin and melon farm. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if we keep on traveling that way, that's actually where our stronghold is. As you can see, I've clearly been here. And just for a little bit of context, this is the piece of flat land. That over there is the stronghold. Our pathway is over this hill, and then there obviously is the sky temple. And the village is over this way. You can kind of see it. So it's kind of out of the way, but also close to a lot of other things. Now let me turn down my render distance before my game crashes or something. I want this pumpkin and melon farm to be a proper farm. So we will have a farmhouse, but also just like a little plot of pumpkins and melons just for decoration. And then maybe a little storage building on the side. I definitely want farm outpost vibes, not just a random farmhouse in the middle of nowhere. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start mapping out where we're going to place all of our builds. Maybe right here we'll place the front right corner of the farmhouse, and then just go along and place the rest of the pillars. We'll do a little mud brick wall foundation, and don't worry, I will make this look nice later. We're just placing blocks down to figure out exactly where we want the builds to go. On this left side side of the build, I'm going to place a tiny little attached horse stable. So with that in, that is the farmhouse down, and I feel like this is a pretty good spot for it. Maybe over on the right side, we can have our pumpkin and melon farm, the decoration one. The actual automatic one is going to go under the ground. Obviously, we had to hide it. And actually, maybe we can place our little like storage shed over here as well. But I may get that in once we actually get the pumpkin and melon farm in. Also, wouldn't it be so much better if I leveled out this entire layer of dirt? I think so. Let me do that with my broken iron shovel. Wow, that lasted so long. Luckily, I have a fresh one in my inner chest. Okay, that right there, that's the horse that's going to be in the horse stable. He's beautiful. I've already called it. We're doing it. I just had an idea. What if I built a bunch of little horse stables throughout the pathway and just my world so I can kind of pony express around my world? Is that the most practical form of transportation? Maybe not, but I don't know, it sounds kind of cool to me. Wow, that only took literally forever to do. Look how much dirt I got from that. I guess our next step is to probably start building the build. So like I mentioned before, we will have a mud brick foundation on the bottom. I feel like mud bricks just work better with heavy wood block palettes. Like imagine if this was stone, which it actually was originally, and I didn't really like it. The gray just clashes so much with these warm woody toned blocks. Before we move on to the walls and the roof, I want to go ahead and get the staircase in, and we do have ourselves a fairly large one. Now onto the walls, I just want to get the first layer of walls in so I can see where they're actually going to sit. For the majority of the build, we will just do pale oak walls / white walls. I'm actually going to use a little bit of calcite in the white wall block palette, but here at the front we're going to use regular oak wood. All of the pillars are going to go up 9 blocks from the ground, so 1, 2, 3, and then 6 from here, and we'll join them across like so. I did all of this and then realized that I actually don't want these pillars here. So that's fun. I don't know why I did it. I just kind of got ahead of myself and I just kept on going. Anyway, that is the pillars in. Oh, hello cow. Next up, it is roof time and I am so excited to get this roof in. I'm going to do something I've never done before. So the trim will be dark oak wood, and this is where the fun part comes in. Whenever I build it up on the sides, I'm going to build it up like normal for a moment, and then I'm actually going to start to bring the roof out a little bit. So the roof will kind of V out from the building. Let me take a step back so you can see. Usually my roof trims obviously just go straight up, but as you can see, we have some little bits that kind of come off. So this is going to give the roof kind of this V shape. I've seen other Minecrafters do this with their roofs and I wanted to try it out for myself. So this is my interpretation of that. Now to do this all the way around the build. With the roof in, let's go ahead and start filling it in. And to fill it in, we're going to do kind of a gradient. Granted, it's not a very good gradient, but we're going to be using a variety of blocks like the stripped mangrove log, also a little bit of acacia, some mangrove plank, and some red terracotta. I will say that this is using quite literally so much mangrove wood, and if you've ever chopped down a mangrove tree, you know how tedious it is to collect mangrove wood. So using all this mangrove wood so fast pains me just a wee bit. But finally, we are on the mangrove planks. And after mangrove planks, it's time for red terracotta. For some reason, this is literally hurting my brain so much. Just trying to get everything even, figure out exactly where I should start the gradient. And I keep on falling. I am so ready to be done with this roof. Oh, I just fell again. I'm still working on making like good roof palettes. It's just not my strong point, that's for sure. But from the front, I feel like it's not awful. Maybe. Or maybe it is. This build is coming along nicely. We have all of the walls in and it is detail time, aka my favorite part about building in Minecraft. On all of the corners, I'm going to place a staircase to kind of round them off. And then around the windows, I want to place a little frame. So we'll do slabs on the bottom and on the top, and then trapdoors beside of those. And lastly, connect those with some fences so we get this frame. The same section up here will get the same treatment. And we will boop a lantern up at the top. We need some lanterns at the bottom, so we'll place one on this left side, and then probably one here in the corner. That's not a lantern, that is a fence. Actually, I don't really like this lantern here, so let me get rid of it. And instead, I want to place some lanterns here on the corner by the front entrance. It's already looking so much better. Now on to this side. Essentially, we're just going to be doing the same thing all the way around the build. Every window will get that same frame. Every corner will be rounded off with staircases. Also, aren't the little orange windows such a nice detail? Obviously, this is a pumpkin and melon farm. I'm thinking that we need a lantern right here. So maybe I will replace this block with a full plank, so that I can actually place a lantern there. What do we think about this? We'll take a little step back. Yeah, I think that's nice. That's this side done. And I hear a wandering trader. Where is he? Oh, all the way down there, I also see a skelly and a creeper. Buddy, what are you doing all the way down there? That's like the worst place for you to spawn. On to the back wall. This side wall won't really have much detail with it just because of the horse stable, but I will place that little lantern there. And then also some staircases here in the corner. Let's get some stable details in. We will connect these beams. This upper section will kind of be designed like the other upper roof sections. Because the roofs do stick out, I have to do something a bit interesting in order to make it look normal. But I think it still looks pretty good. Obviously, we have to be able to actually enclose a horse in here. So I'm going to do this little stripped spruce detail with some fences. And to kind of meld it all together, let's add some gates. Actually, can the horses get through? No, I think we're good. I always like to do a triple gate for horse stables because horses can't get through one gate. So it'd be quite annoying if we just had one or even two. 3 makes it to where we can just get on in very easily. What if up here for the ceiling, we fill some of it in? Will a spider be able to spawn up there? I have no idea. I guess we'll find out. And honestly, I like that little red stripe detail. For the rest of the roof, I do want to place maybe some oak trapdoors, or the rest of the ceiling rather, kind of like so. So we'll still be able to see through the ceiling, but it's going to be covered a little bit. Possibly, maybe. I don't hate it, so we're gonna leave it. You know, as long as I don't hate it, then we're good. And we'll just add a wee lantern on the outside, and then we're pretty much done with this build, which is crazy. We finished it. And it's a pretty big one too, might I say. Like, it's not small. Obviously, we have a lot of interior work to do. Also, there is a cow here. Hello, cow. How you doing? I do want to get this pumpkin and melon farm in ASAP so that it can be running while we're doing the rest of the build and the rest of the little farm outpost. So that is my next course of action. Though it would probably be helpful for us to get a floor in here, maybe some walls. Also, look at the pretty sun rays coming through the orange windows. I love that. I just did a little bit of work getting some rooms in. So we have this room right whenever we walk in. a little hallway that brings us to this bigger room with a spiral staircase, which will bring us upstairs, and we have 2 rooms up here. I finished off the ceilings so that everything is nice and tidy and ready to be furnished whenever I feel like it. And then we can continue going down here, and eventually we will have the pumpkin and melon farm here. So I need to dig out a room here so we can have the pumpkin and melon farm. I debated on how big I wanted to make this farm, and I think I decided on just like a normal small-ish size. And we can always expand it if we realize it's not producing enough pumpkins and melons. Also, I'm not really going to follow a tutorial for this. I'm kind of just gonna wing it. I have built a couple of pumpkin and melon farms in my time, so I kind of know what I'm doing. Directly in the floor here, we are going to outline a 9x9 square. We actually need to outline it with staircases so that we can waterlog them. Since we are going to be planting crops, of course, they need water. The middle will be filled with dirt. This is the easy part, by the way. Once we have to do the pistons and observers, it's literally so annoying. I'm not looking forward to it. And maybe this isn't how other people do it, but this is how I am going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and plant the crops. And I definitely meant to bring bone meal with me so that I could speedy along the process a little bit. But I forgot. Yay, it's observer and piston time. I'm so excited. I'll do 1 row with you all so you can see the pain that I am about to endure. So all of the observers have to observe the crops like this, and they have to face down. So we have to make sure we can build up a block so we can be above the little plant. And then for the pistons, we have to be below in order to place them so that the pistons are facing down. So it's just very tedious, not difficult, just kind of annoying to do. And we're gonna have to do it this way with every single row. Again, maybe there's a better way, but this is the way I'm gonna do it, okay? Also, you can see how easy it's going to be for us to come back in and expand. We pretty much just need to recreate this in another little plot. So if I do decide that I need to expand, it won't be too much of an issue. Anyway, let me get this in. On top of all of the observers, we have to place a piece of redstone dust, and then the pistons get a block on top of them. I don't know why you do this, but you have to. After this, really the last thing we have to do is get the minecart system in. Oh wait, did you hear that? Things are happening. Obviously, we're going to be placing the hopper right here at the front. So I guess we'll place the chest here and attach the hopper to it. The rail will go straight across this way, and then we'll start to loop it around. To power the rails, we'll place a redstone torch, and then we can place powered rails on top of that. And we just repeat this again and again. As easy as that. We've got some little pumpkins floating up there, and really all we need to do is make this minecart go. So we'll place it here, flip the trapdoor, and then we can push it. And don't worry, it will get faster. Come on, minecart, you got it. Okay, maybe it doesn't got it. Here, let me give you a little boost. Once it starts going, it's gonna go though. See, now it's zooming. And look, we already have a pumpkin. Now 2. So that the pumpkins and melons don't fly out of the farm, I'm going to surround it all with glass and then also place some shroom lights so we can get rid of these random torches. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I do want to polish off this room so that it doesn't look like this. So essentially, I just want to like hide everything as much as possible. It would be nice to be able to peek in just a little bit so we can at least see the pumpkins and melons. But then the walls are ugly, so maybe I can just replace the walls with some spruce wood. Or actually, maybe let's do dark oak wood just to switch things up, get a different block in there. And you can't tell that the ceiling is dirt, so we're leaving it dirt. It kind of makes me giggle that the farmers who live here have this like underground industrial pumpkin and melon farm going. Something about it just like feels like they're cheating or something. You know, they're going to the farmer's market and everyone's selling their measly potatoes and carrots and whatever. And then here they're going to come to the market with literally a plethora of pumpkins and melons because they have this like shady pumpkin and melon farm under the ground. That's how I like to think about it. It makes me giggle. Well, we have done it. We have built a pumpkin and melon farm, and it looks like it's running nicely. And the sprouts haven't grown all the way up yet, so when they do, it'll be even more efficient. But this little guy will be running while we are working on the outside of our farmhouse. For this outside pumpkin and melon farm, I do want it to be a little bit more neat and tidy. I want rows of pumpkins and melons and not just a scattered pumpkin patch. Oh my gosh. That scared me so bad. Luckily, I'm okay though. Everything's fine. And now it's raining. Oh my goodness. Back here, I'm thinking that we can try to plant a larger oak tree, and then it can kind of act as a border to the pumpkin and melon farm. Let's see. Is this going to be a good one? Oh yeah, that is a good one. What do we think? Yeah, that looks pretty nice. And then we can have some kind of fence and then another little fence and then rows some pumpkins and melons. And I do want to build a little storage building like I was talking about before. Maybe over here will be a good spot for it. I'm not going to place it down just yet. I'm just going to kind of map it out. So it'll kind of be another border for the pumpkin and melon farm. And you know, actually, maybe let's just get it in. Maybe we can store extra pumpkins and melons in here, or maybe some emeralds. Though honestly, it's mostly for looks. I feel like it makes sense that a farm would probably have some kind of storage shed. We'll do another red roof. So we're going to alternate between mangrove slabs and also just full blocks of terracotta. Wouldn't it be so cool if at some point we are able to craft slab and staircase variants of terracotta and also concrete? Why can't we do that yet? I don't get it. I do want this storage shed to be enclosed in, but I also want it to have a little bit of depth. So we're going to use trap doors as walls. Here at the front, we'll hang some lanterns, and to connect the fences, we'll use some dark oak gates and then open them. And get rid of this little guy. Obviously, I built this for storage, so let's go ahead and pop that down. We'll do a couple of rows. Oh wow, I'm gonna need so many more chests. Here at the top, we wouldn't be able to open up the chest if it was a double chest because there's a full block. So we'll just place a single chest. And there we have a very simple little storage shed. I'll probably add some flooring later, but let's start to get an outdoor pumpkin and melon farm in. For a fence, I want to do a mixture of bushes and then also fences. We have a little diagonal thing over here, and obviously you can't do diagonal fences. So what if we just do like a brick wall kind of thing? Maybe we can add some height variation throughout just to make it look a little bit more random. I just want everything to feel very enclosed in. I want it to feel like a section of the farm, you know? And I guess to separate it from the outside world. Next step is to actually get these farms in. I have no idea how I want to do this, but maybe I'll kind of map it out with some coarse dirt. And again, I want clean manicured lines. I'm thinking we'll do a little wheat field there in the back, and then on this section we'll have the actual pumpkin and melon farm. I'll tilt directly onto the top layer of the ground, so no raised beds or anything. Hello, cow. How you doing? Just floating. I have no idea how the pumpkins and melons are going to grow if I just plant them here. Like, are they going to look weird whenever they're fully grown? I don't know, but I do have some little bone meal with me so I can speedy along the process. This is kind of what I was thinking. If they grow on this section, I think it'll look nice. Okay, that one grew well too. Oh, wait. Look, they're doing such a good job. Oh, that one did not grow right. But maybe it'll look okay if they're a little bit more scattered. It doesn't have to be perfect. I have some sunflowers and some hay bales. I definitely want to do a lot of scattering of things. And honestly, maybe even growing some little flower fields. Ooh, maybe we can have a flower field over there by the brick wall. I have torch flowers and pitcher pot flowers. I never use pitcher pot flowers, so maybe we'll do these. And let's also scatter some coarse dirt around. You know, I kind of might hate the pitcher pot flowers just a wee bit. Why do they look so weird? I can never make them work in my builds. They just look so prehistoric. They quite literally look like plants from whenever dinosaurs were alive. Might just play it safe and do lilacs. You know, that just feels more me. We will do lilacs. And then the sunflowers face this way, which I think will be perfect to place along the house. We'll just kind of scatter them around, kind of like we did with the lilacs. Before I get any further with decorating the farm, I do want to get at least like a little pathway in. It doesn't have to be perfect or anything right now, but I need to see at least where it's going to wind through the farm. I will be connecting this pathway all the way with a super long pathway as well. Here at the front, let's build ourselves a very bad cart. This will be the same cart design as I did with that one merchant house, that wooden new build over that way. No, it's not a very good design, but I think it kind of looks like a cart. I don't know, you tell me. Do you think it looks like a cart? Just a few more designs before I am finished with this farm. I want to sprinkle around a couple of these little garden lights. We have yet to sprinkle around a hay pile, so let's do that here, and then maybe we can place like a chest there or something. There's a lot of animals around this plains, and this is a farmer and they're living on their own little homestead, so maybe it would make sense for us to have a little animal pen here. I don't want it to take up too much space, so it's just going to be a small one. It might be nice to have some kind of overhang for the animals at least, so they're not just in this one pen. Though I do imagine that the farmers probably let the animals out. You know, they let them roam around this giant plains and then they herd them back in. But this way, they will have some kind of shelter. I did do a similar design to this at that one merchant house in the piggy pen, and I love the design, so I'm probably going to be recreating it a bunch. I may replace these fences here with some stripped spruce logs, and maybe make it feel just a little bit more closed off, but isn't that just such a cute addition to an animal pen? And that about does it for our little farm. We have our storage building, we have this pumpkin and melon farm, and definitely not as neat and tidy as I was expecting. Actually, what are these melons doing? Hello? Why are they all hanging out on the outside? And maybe I will actually get rid of these and I'll let them try again. They'll get a second chance. Okay, he just grew right back on the outside. You know, there is a spot right there for you. Please choose that spot. We have lots of flowers around, our wheat field, our weird looking cart thing, and our animal pen. Though maybe we should actually get some animals inside of it. We can also bring our horse over as well. But first, let's grab this cow, and maybe the sheep. Though, look how many sheep there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But there we go. Now we have some decorative animals. Now it's decorative horse time, and that is my horse of choice. Looks like there is a sheep attached to it, and also literally so many other little sheepies around. Ooh, the horse seems actually pretty good, maybe. At least its hearts are pretty good. Oh wait, and it loves me already. Onwards to the farmhouse, and look how good it looks over there. And now you'll probably live in here for the rest of your life. Though doesn't it look so good? He's such a pretty horse. Now I just need to do this interior, which is going to take me literally forever. I did tidy the stairwell just a little bit. Also, pumpkin and melon farm check, looking pretty good. Ooh, and I did place a little crafting table down here so that we can actually turn the melon slices into melons. Though I will say it looks like the pumpkins are doing a lot better than the melons. So I don't know if that means that I should probably... Oh, cute. Wait, what happened to the minecart? What do you mean? The minecart just stopped working. I love that so much. It was running just fine before, I swear. I don't know why it's not now. Well, it should be fixed now. I guess I needed more power, though why was it running fine before it's not now? I don't know. That's a great question. Don't ask me. See what we can make with this. Wow. Wow. Would you look at that? Have you ever seen a dining room table so pretty? Okay, so I was thinking, what if we did like this and then like this? It's kind of ugly. That's so ugly. It's so ugly. Ignore. Pretend I didn't do it. How big do we want it to be? Oh, wait. Wow. Not that big. You know, the good old horsey painting. That painting is superior. It's kind of cute. I like it. I am back. The interior is done, and I also did the pathway. But first, let's do an interior tour. So we walk in and we have this little entryway table. The kitchen is in this room. We have a sink, a little fridge, some shelves, and then in this big room, we have our little dining room table with lots of little decor bits around. I decided to enclose in the spiral staircase, and I feel like it looks so much better like this. It really just separates it from the rest of the room. But if we head on up, we will walk into a little hallway kind of, and we have some storage wardrobes just like we do in the starter house. Then this room is the living room slash bedroom. We have a watermelon rug, which is the perfect touch to this pumpkin and melon farm. And we obviously have lots of little details and decor bits around. I think this is my favorite room of the house. Though overall, I am really happy with how the entire build turned out. I really like this interior a lot, and I put a lot of details in it, and it makes me happy. Heading downstairs, we can do a quick pumpkin and melon farm check. As you can see, it's doing pretty well. We have lots of stacks of pumpkins and melons, and we can actually craft some more melons now. That'll add 26 more melons to our collection. But let's fly over and see the pathway that I did. This took me forever to do, but it finally connects all the way over to the super long pathway that connects my base over to the village. Will I ever use this pathway? Probably not, honestly. Why would I whenever I have an elytra? But it does connect sections of my world together, and it makes me happy. But with that, I am going to go ahead and wrap this episode up here. I hope that you have enjoyed it, and I'm so excited that we finally have a source of emeralds. We definitely need to get some farmer villagers going for sure, so we can actually trade the pumpkins and melons to villagers to get emeralds. But if you haven't already, then definitely be sure to like and subscribe. I hope that you all are having a lovely day, and thank you so much for watching. Bye! Pig, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look! Oh, he's looking at me. So cute. Also, I'm so glad that I brought a stone cutter with me. Hee hee. Wow. Wow. Now just to do this all the way around. Oops. My favorite part about building in Minecraft. Also, why did I try to get up that way? I have no idea. Ah! Oh, you... Also, you can see how... Also, it is quite literally raining so hard, so I'm very sorry if you can hear that. It literally might be... Oh, it is hailing. It is hailing outside. That's so cool. Yeah, I feel safe right now. Hello? Is everything okay? See, isn't this just so cute? No, it's not. Isn't this just such a cute little add-on? I kind of hate it. Me kind of hates it. Wow. Thanks.